And the things that came up was, for example, that it's not a quick fix. It's not an easy job to just get a lot of volunteers. It's a long-term planning. You need to have a long-term perspective of finding ways to involving, engaging, and getting volunteers committed. So you need to think of it long-term and not rush it. And secondly, it's important to take care of your volunteers. If you have volunteers, but you have a demand of activities which is far greater than the number of volunteers, you run the risk of overtaxing your volunteers, of exploiting them, using them for all the needs that is in your organization or in your work, and that might scare them away. It might make it more difficult to find more new volunteers. So it's important also to realize why people are volunteering, and then to try and cater to their needs and also make them feel good, and make sure that you check with your volunteers how are they feeling, and if it tends to become too much, then probably it's a good idea to put less stress on them, less work on them, even if the demand is there, to rather think that it's more important to keep the volunteers for a longer period than to overuse them, exploit them, and then they will just drop out and you have no volunteers. Those were some of the ideas or thoughts that came up from volunteering. Then we had barriers for digital inclusion.
Yes, thank you, Johanne. Also in quite a small group, we discussed some barriers that we face in Lithuania and Sweden in this case, but I think they are also common for all our region. So not surprised that there was a mention about the stereotypes and about seniors who don't want to learn and don't see the need to learn. And we were thinking that maybe it might be that, they remember their life perfectly well without the technologies, and they could do everything themselves without the technologies, go to the bank, go to the store, without any shopping online, and suddenly everything transitions quite quickly, which is really then not comfortable, and maybe too short period to really learn to feel comfortable with the technologies. And we also were discussing another point that the companies, banks, service providers who introduce very suddenly this online activities instead of physical activities, physical spaces of service, they could do a bit longer transition period where they could, keep both spaces, both opportunities, and invest a little bit more in training people and getting them to get acquainted with the new way, which will be maybe happening not tomorrow, but in a year or something like that, and get used to that. So yeah, I think this is two main points what I wanted to say.
Perfect. Collaboration was the next one. I think, Gunilla, that was yours.
Yes, I was in the group with Yuri and Christina, and we found out that you need a genuine interest to collaborate. It's very important. And you have to remember that students, they are smart. That's very good. And you don't have to know anything. You just have to be open and flexible in your mindset. Yes, I think that's it. Personal interest is important in this field.
And students are smart. I like that.
Yes.
Very good. And then we had the fourth one, which is AI and new technologies. What's around the corner? Technology is a moving target. It changes all the time. And when we teach people something or guide them to something, tomorrow it's something else that they need to learn. So, Agne, what did you come up with?
Yes, we were a group with quite diverse backgrounds, which was really good. We had people joining in from senior organizations, from libraries, so had an interesting discussion. Quite a lot of it was focused on the new technologies, such as AI, or even the fact that everything is seemingly moving online, that we need to check in and buy plane tickets or train tickets online, or all these things are moving online, and that people meet this with both curiosity and fear. In terms of curiosity, our new tech offers so many possibilities to us. We can have a conversation on our phone, and artificial intelligence can answer our questions, and we can connect with people better. But it also introduces challenges in terms of potential scams and new ways we don't know how to deal with it. So we talked quite a bit about safety. And one of our participants mentioned a case where someone got a phone call and it sounded just like a familiar voice, which is something we're not ready to deal with, and we don't know how to deal with that better. So we talked about trainings and all these kinds of things. So curiosity, a bit of fear in the future.
Great. We have just scraped the surface, as you can hear, and it wasn't expected for us to solve these issues, but we have to keep the conversation going. We have to share our fears, and we have to share our ideas and also learn from one another. And that concludes this session, and I give the floor back to you, Ulla.
Thank you, Johanni. I hope you all enjoyed the discussions, and I really liked hearing these highlights. But our event is coming to an end for now. So to help us wrap up, I would like to invite Agnė Buraitytė here once again. She's an advisor at the Nordic Council of Ministers office in Lithuania. So let's reflect on today's key insights, maybe.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much for great discussions we have had today. At the same time, I will invite you to join in one more Menti. So we will see and we will invite you to reflect. What is your key takeaway today? You can answer here in Menti on the screen. While we wait for your replies, I can start with one of my reflections that I really liked hearing about, was about these win-win scenarios where youth and older adults can both take something away. It's not a one-way giving, but it's about people sharing and learning from each other. We talked about I really liked a quote from one of the speakers, Emma, who said that age does not divide, age helped us connect. So it was nice to hear that seniors can gain digital skills, that people can connect, and that people can share and have these nice spaces to talk about. Is there maybe, Ulla, one point you would like to share, something that stood out to you?
Well, of course, as a youth representative, I always love hearing about how young people are motivated and ready to lead and to learn. But as you said, it's so nice to hear about this two-way exchange that not only the seniors benefit, but also the young people gain a lot from the elderly. But the thing that stood out to me a few times today was safety. Even now, after the breakout rooms, you also mentioned that we're looking to the future with some fear. And safety is extremely important online and digital world as well. And it is not only a problem for the elderly, for youth as well. So it's nice that so many people highlighted this, and we are talking about this and trying out different ways to stay safe online.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good point. I think that also connects to the point of technology can be so joyous and so fun. And we heard it several times today, people sharing from both the libraries, from our representatives that were part of the project, the joy that this can bring, the technology, the volunteering, the mentorship, the being part of these sessions, it can bring so much kind of sense of meaning and a sense of belonging in a community. So I thought this was an interesting point as well.
Yes, absolutely. And I think all of these examples just really prove the point how we lack spaces for this intergenerational dialogue, for elderly and youth to connect. It's not so usual, but I hope that this event and all of these initiatives could be a nice starting point for everyone involved and everyone listening today, so that we would not only meet at the libraries, but would find other ways to exchange as well.
And as well as we saw in the initial videos from many years ago, and we saw how the tech is changing, and we saw how it's constantly moving and moving ahead, we can also see that it's growing and becoming bigger and bigger. And here we can see that local action and these small initiatives that we start out and seemingly meeting with a youth representative or meeting with an older adult once in a while can have a big impact. It can grow, it can become bigger, it can become more and more and more important. So we hope that this initiative will continue and grow in the future as well. I really like the comments you have here written, that people need to feel supported, that this is a joint effort, that there's a sense of fellowship and possibility, that we can grow friendly relationships, that safety is important, that people are motivated to learn digital skills and teach digital skills, that it's a whole societal challenge and a joint effort for all of us.
So shall we challenge the audience with the last slide, which is also the farewell slide? And once you have filled this commitment in, which is on the next Mindty, I'll show in a second, then we are closing slowly the webinar for today. We have 14 responses here. This is fine. Is it okay to go to the last Mentee question?
I think we can go there.
Yes.
Okay, we said we are all responsible. Okay, so what will each one of us actually do next? What will I do, big or small? What is my next step in order for me to contribute, each of us individually, to help build a digital society for all? Once you have reflected on this, the webinar is over. We will collect these responses, hopefully we get some, and send to all the participants as a reminder what we all said we need to do.
Perhaps while we wait, Johanna, you would like to share something. What will you do?
I will look into my calendar to see if I could volunteer more. I like it, but it's also time consuming. I would like to find something where what I could do with the time I have, with the availability that I have. Because for me, yes, I like talking about these things, and building bridges is fine, but it's also actual work. We also actually have to do it, to dig where we stand, as they used to say in the 70s. So that would be my kind of promise to myself, to try and find ways to be more volunteering more in IT support for those where I can contribute.
Absolutely. And I loved seeing how people are already mentioning about, well, taking the action on a personal note. Maybe it can be your mother, your grandmother, an aunt, or a teacher that you could help out with. And that's already something.
Yes, I feel we should have some suspenseful music here to end it up, as you said, well, on a high note, but we didn't think of that. Maybe for next time. So Ulla, what will you do to help build a digital society for all?
That's a good question, actually. But I was also thinking about volunteering. I volunteer a lot, but it was never about this intergenerational dialogue. So perhaps I will look into some different organizations here in Lithuania and try out going to the library to meet the elderly as well.
That's good. We have 7 responses and we are exactly on time. It's now 12 o'clock in Lithuania and Finland, and 11 o'clock in Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and whatever clock is, wherever you are, if you're outside of this time-space regions. Ulla, do you want to do the honors of wrapping up?
Yes, thank you.
Thanks?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. And now on behalf of the entire team, Langas Jatiti, the Nordic Network for Adult Learning, IT Guide, the Nordic Council of Ministers Office in Lithuania, and myself, I want to thank you all for being part of this shared learning space today. We really look forward to continuing this work and building stronger connections across the Nordic-Baltic region. And as we part ways for now, I wish you all great success in your future endeavors. And until we meet again, I say farewell.